frigid for Florida, so come inside Exactech Arena here in Gainesville and warm up as we ignite a Friday Night Heights doubleheader with two longtime rivals, the Georgia Bulldogs and the Florida Gators.
Finally win that national championship title.
And it says something with all of that talent throughout the rotations that Harris Miranda is anchoring 3 of the 4 events.
It's going to be a crazy and an environmental, and looking forward to this great champ.
Yeah, it really is. Selena Harris Miranda, part of a terrific vault lineup for the Florida Gators as they get started here in Gainesville. We are so glad to have you along. It's the first of 2 meets on SEC Network as we kick off Friday Night Heights here in the end of January. Florida on vault of 49.45 for them last week. They bounced back from a 49.025 on bars. It was a slow start at LSU. In a meet, they only ended up losing by 1/10. So they were able to bounce back, and head coach Jenny Rowland was so excited about that fact. Anya Pilgrim to start off.
With a very clean Yurchenko 1.5. That is a round-off back handspring onto the table. Judges are looking for that very clean landing, and she just started off with a superior Florida Gator team.
All right, well, it is strength on strength here as Georgia on bars is the #2 rotation in the country. This could be a real highlight for them. They're top 10 right now in 2 different events, and it feels like a really long time since we've said something like that. In fact, since the end of the 2019 season, they have not ended a year top 10 in 2 events. Here's
this,
Nia Howard.
Watch this right there. A huge connection from high bar to low bar. That skill was a D move. Just a dismount here, a blind full, straight into a double tuck, and just a slight hop backwards. Very good start for this Georgia team.
Here's how a dual meet works in college gymnastics. With just 2 teams competing, mano a mano, 6 gymnasts per team competing throughout each event. You are able to drop the lowest score, only the highest 5 count, and the team with the highest cumulative score wins. It's called Olympic order for the home team, Florida in this case, vault, bars, beam, and they will end on floor, which is always something that lights up the O-Dome. Here's Ellie Lazzari. This is her first vault of the season. She was part of that lineup, though, the entire postseason last year.
She's doing another Yurchenko 1.5 and a huge rotation and just a slight hop forward and a step forward. Unfortunately, judges will take that off. I would have loved to see her chest a little bit higher and for her to open up her arms to limit that rotation that she had. But very good job from Ellie, especially coming back from the 2024 season.
So good start for Georgia on bars with Nia Howard in the leadoff spot, posting a 9.85. And we'll see some of that youth right away here with Sadie Jane Berry. A 9.875 for her in her first 2 collegiate bar routines. Last time out, a stuck dismount. And that is what the head coaches for Georgia are looking for here on bars at the end.
Just a freshman, building her confidence for this Georgia team. This is going to be a combination. Maloney, immediate lead to the low bar called a pack salto. Missed that pirouette, that's why she needs to repeat that. Judges are looking for this vertical handstand. They do have a 10-degree window. Just a dismount here, a double tuck, and finishes it off with a very clean double tuck.
To another freshman for Florida, Lee Boyd from Swisher, Iowa. She is only 16 years old. She'll be 17 next month, Jenny Rowland told us, but interestingly enough, only 6 months younger than Trinity Thomas when she got to college. And we all know the type of career that she had, the most 10s ever for an NCAA gymnast.
I already can tell she's going to be a legend for this Gator team. Watch this right here. She'll be doing another Yurchenko 1.5. Beautiful. Finds that landing, finds her rotation, and just hops it slightly back. Judges are looking for those clean feet together. Look at that height of our 16-year-old, and she's already a veteran for this team.
A contender to do all around too, according to Jenny Rowland, eventually. Emma Mason now, as we continue the newcomers from Scott Depot, West Virginia. 9.85 for her in her collegiate bars debut last time out.
She'll be doing a piked Jaeger. Very difficult, catching with straight arms immediately to the low bar. Judges are looking for that bail to hit horizontal. Hits that handstand. Blindfold, double tuck, and just a slight step backwards. Great job for Georgia so far. They're #2 in the nation for a reason. Watch this slow-mo, watch this piked Jaeger, and how she catches with straight arms and catches again, hitting that horizontal handstand on a low bar.
Well, so far for Florida, looking to drop Ellie Lazzari's low score of 9.775. Year number 10. Now for Jenny Rowland at the helm. She's led Florida to 7 SEC championships, 6 in the regular season in a row. First look at the senior all-arounder from Frisco, Texas, Sloan Blakely.
She can go electric on this event. So clean in the hair, so dynamic, amplitude, height, distance, everything. She's definitely the full package. I would have just loved for her to open up those arms to limit that rotation. Check this out. Watch this height and this distance. Perfection and just that slight step forward. But again, it's early. It's week 4 of gymnastics season. We're trying to figure it out, trying to get the kinks out to find what works and what doesn't for this Gator team.
And Sloan following up Lee Bowie's 9.925, her first 9.9 plus score as a Florida Gator in college. Our first look now at Addie Wall, the sophomore competing the all-around for the first time since last March. She's adding beam to the program tonight.
She is a staple for this Georgia team. She extends beautifully throughout her apparatus. Just this handstand right here. Judges are looking for it right on top. And watch how she extends her hips on this dismount and drills it into the floor. That's exactly what the judges are looking for. Let's bring it back to this handstand.
Perfect.
Gymnasts do have a 10-degree window, and I would say that was pretty close. And watch her hips and her legs glued together and just nails it. That's exactly what this Georgia team is wanting, to carry that momentum, athlete after athlete.
Here's Leanne Wong at 9.925 last week for the national team alternate the last 2 Olympics for the U.S., Tokyo and in Paris.
She'll be doing a different entry onto the vault and half off. She did a Yurchenko half on, half off, which is extremely difficult to do. And she is so poised on her performance, but she's an ultimate athlete. Watch this again, half on, pike off, and just a slight hop backwards. Check it out again. It's a half twist onto the vault with a layout half, and she just nails it.
Associate head coach Adrian Burdett absolutely fired up as well. We will see Leanne along with 3 other Florida gymnasts in the all-around, so a lot more coming from them throughout the meet. Holly Snyder now, a real high flyer. She's a treat to watch on bars.
Watch this right here. Huge piked ray immediately down to the low bar. Excellent gymnastics. And what's so unique about her is that she does straight body cast, which is extremely difficult to do, and just so close of holding onto that dismount. Good job for carrying that up together, though. Watch this release move here. It's called a ray in a piked form immediately down to the low bar. That is a D to a D combination.
Why are those, Anastasia, so much harder?
Because you are at risk of hitting your feet onto the high bar. And It's extremely, extremely difficult to do. It's actually a little bit more riskier. But that just makes her a little bit more special and makes her more of a confident competitor as well.
Yeah, she has really been a big part of this bars lineup that has been so good as well for Georgia early on. Here is Selena Harris-Miranda, the UCLA transfer coming over before the season, the reigning Pac-12 Gymnast of the Year.
Watch this, another Yurchenko 1.5.
Wow.
And just a near stick for Selena Harris-Miranda. You can see how excited she is to be a part of this Gator family. What a change it has been for her. We got to check this back out again. Perfect vault, hits the table with straight arms, is so sky high. Look at that height.
Over 6 feet off of the table.
And just nearly almost sticks that landing. Perfection.
Well, she had a 9.9 as the anchor last week. And here's Lily Smith making her bars debut this year because she's been dealing with a bit of a hand injury, but Ryan Roberts said she's good to go.
Beautiful gymnastics. She is known for her elegance. Good job saving that bail handstand. What a veteran move, holding that. Just the dismount here. Double tuck and just a slight step forward, but very big kudos to Lily Smith for being able to handle the pressure and also come back from an injury that was actually from the uneven bars and being able to conquer that.
So that should be a great score for Georgia to finish off bars. Florida putting up a massive 49.55 in that first vault. It was a season high on the apparatus. For Sloane Blakely and the rest of the Gators, when we come back, a chance for Sloane and her younger sister Sky to write one last chapter of their gymnastics story together. We'll learn more about it when we come back. Concato Landy, her former head coach, now the co-head coach of the Georgia Bulldogs. Just so exciting to get that type of environment and that raucous energy back inside Stegman Coliseum. Right now, though, the Bulldogs have some work to do. Florida with a 49.55 on vault, the highest vault rotation in the NCAA this year.
They just kind of continue to use their momentum forward and do what they're capable of. Here we have Naya doing a Yurchenko full, starting at a 9.95, very clean in the air, and you can see that she was able to absorb that landing. Very critical for the gymnast, and especially what the judges are looking for.
Anastasia, we hear that so much. Yurchenko full, Yurchenko 1.5. What does that mean?
It means the entry and the level of difficulty onto the vault that comes out and you flip and land onto the mat. And it's critical because that is a 9.95 start versus a 10.0 on a Yurchenko 1.5.
Right, the most they can get on a Yurchenko full, even a perfect vault, is only a 9.95.
Yes.
Florida on bars starts with Sloane Blakely. This is the event that Florida had the most trouble with against LSU, but this is a pretty good leadoff right here.
She's not having any trouble on this event this time. She is so dynamic. Watch this handstand right here. She always hits it on top. She's gonna do a double front dismount. She typically sticks this. I may have jinxed her a little bit, just a little under rotation on that, but very clean and much improvement from LSU Gymnastics.
And much better than last week when they fell. And there are her parents, Stephanie and Steven. They are pumped, as you expect. And I think they're even more excited the fact that they can go to one meet and see both of their daughters at this point. They have to travel all over the country and all over the world to watch both of them.
I know. When I was talking to them, I said, you guys are needing a double jersey, Sloane and Sky, supporting each other at these meets.
Here's Nicole King, the junior from Johns Creek, Georgia, for the Bulldogs. Did not compete last week, but she did exhibition. This is her first vault of the season.
She will be doing a Yurchenko full. Again, that 9.95 start value. She did take a large hop backward. She did have a lot of over-rotation, which will result in probably a 210 deduction.
Those lines, by the way, that you see in the landing zone on the mat, they're not guaranteed deductions, but they do help the judge know whether they land in the middle or not.
Yeah, and it allows that more of an air awareness of where this gymnast is landing. Is it to the left? Is it to right? Because you're really looking for all gymnasts to be vertical and aligned with the vault table.
So here is Anya Pilgrim following up Sloan Blakely's 9.825, that is. She bounced back from the fall with a 9.85 last week.
She'll be doing a connection here called a Maloney half. I would have loved to see her legs or knees a little bit tighter on that. Judges are definitely going to take that off. And a half in, half out. And she finds that landing. She is exactly what she needed to boost that score up a little bit higher.
Loudest this building has been all night long right there on that stick.
Let's check this out again. A half in, half out. A full twisting double tuck. Eyes straight forward, completely posed, calm demeanor. That is how Anya Pilgrim rocks.
So now for Georgia, so far a 9.85 for Nia Howard. We wait on Nicole King's score, but the Hungarian international Cenge Bacskoi. 10-0 start value here.
This is exactly what this Georgia team needs. And she is so capable of having that stick, but not this time. She just had a slight step forward over rotation. I would have loved to see her arms extend to limit that rotation a little bit better.
She's capable of so much, too. She qualified for the Paris Olympics on vault. Always wanted to compete for Hungary. Dreamed of the opportunity to make the Olympics. And when she was still with Nebraska, she made that dream a reality. Here's Riley McCusker, who missed all of last year after ankle surgery. At one time when she was doing elite gymnastics, this was one of the best bar workers in the entire world. And Jenny Rowland wants to get her right back to that level, thinks she can.
Watch her beauty on this combination. Maloney immediately to a pack salto. That is a D to D combination. And then to another release move, a Maloney half. And I keep saying D and Ds for every athlete because every gymnast has a grade level when it comes to gymnastics. And she nails that double layout. Watch this right here. A Maloney, a D combination down to the low bar. Beautiful execution. Watch her toe point. That's what makes Riley so impressive. Slight lack of separation in the air, but I'm so happy for her. She is back on the floor. Head coach Jenny Rowland always says that she's just got to bring her confidence back up. It's been about 2 years since she's competed, so she needs to get those numbers under her belt.
Time for another impact transfer. Anaya Smith coming over from the Sun Devils.
Huge 1.5,
Wow.
Starting at a 10.0 start value. That was incredible. The height, the distance, and just that slight hop forward. Let's check this out again. Huge Yurchenko 1.5, and she does so well with this block and then just holding very quickly to limit any deductions that any judges could take on that. She was so quick, which I loved about that. And
excited about that vault. Right now they'd be dropping Nicole King's 9.8, nothing below a 9.825 at the moment from Bacskoi. Now here is Sky Blakely, her only event, because as everybody can remember, in training, competing at U.S. Nationals with that devastating Achilles injury.
She is the best, one of the best bar swingers in the country. Watch this skill right here. Extremely difficult. It's called a Higgins. It is where your hands are inverted, and she nails her dismount, double front with a half, and just drills it down to the floor. You can see her family is so happy. She is such an admirable gymnast. Let's check this out again. Watch this release move. It is called a Stalder Ray, immediately down to the low bar. And then in this dismount, a double front with the half. You can see it in her eyes, and look at her mom right there. She is a proud mother of her daughter. Only 6 months after that Achilles tear. That is incredible. What an inspiring athlete.
Yeah, and Stephanie has seen a pretty good vault or two in her time as a gymnastics mom. Here's the freshman Nyla Aquino.
Wow. Another 10.0 start value. That was called a Souk full. And what an amazing landing. Let's check this out again. Very difficult entry, very unique. she just pops up, and what makes her so special is that she flares her hips, stares right into the front of the table, and just says, I just stuck that.
Co-head coach for Georgia, Ryan Roberts, said she just has the it factor, and she is going to be an all-arounder very, very soon. Selena Harris Miranda now, 9.825 for her in back-to-back weeks on bars. This is already a solid rotation. They're dropping Sloan Blakely's 9.825 at the moment from the leadoff spot, and nothing below a 9.875 coming from McCusker.
Here's the transfer from UCLA, Selena Harris Miranda. Huge ray. Hits that handstand right on top. Holds that handstand, a very veteran move there. Another handstand that's hit right on top. And just a dismount immediately to a double layout, and she drills that double out to the floor. What an amazing opportunity for Selena Harris to be back from UCLA, to be back here in Florida, and she's continuing that momentum, rotation after rotation. Watch this right here. Perfect handstand right on top. No deductions on there. Huge ray, catches with straight arms, and watch this double layout, just drills it onto the floor. She knows it's good. She's smiling. Nothing can be taken off from that.
Now, there's not a lot of deductions at all in that routine. And now Addie Wall following it up.
Georgia is definitely bringing the heat. They just did another Yurchenko 1.5 by Addie. Another 10.0 start. Very clean in the air. She is definitely an athlete to look forward to for this Georgia team.
And following up Nyla Aquino's 9.925, all season her career highs on vault. This is a big rotation here for Georgia, and they needed it. They were trailing by 4/10 coming into the second rotation. And now here is Leanne Wong, the reigning NCAA Bars champion. Friday Night Heights continues right after this. #1 Oklahoma and 10th ranked Alabama from Coleman Coliseum in Tuscaloosa. That is going to be a huge matchup. And here is Leanne.
She is just breathtaking on this event. She's going to do another release move here in the Loney half. Hits that handstand. Just a dismount here. She's capable of sticking this every single time she tries so hard to land it. But I will say there's no more college stick in gymnastics, so she must hold that dismount and that landing before she salutes to the judge. Let's take a look at this again. Super clean in the air. Legs pointed together. Just that slight movement of forward. Again, holding that landing is super critical and exactly what the judges are looking for.
You have to hold it for a full second or they can take a 0.5 off, which when you get into the national championship, a 0.5 could very easily be the difference between a title and a runner-up. Georgia is trying to get back to that point, though. They're the most decorated program in NCAA history. 10 national championships, none since 2009. These new coaches are giving them a chance to return a proud program to its former glory. A very special former Gator in attendance. How about the head ball coach himself, Steve Spurrier, the 1966 Heisman winner, of course, longtime head coach here at Florida. And they designed their Leos today to honor Coach Spurrier.
I know there's a bunch of legends in the house tonight, but if you notice on these Gator gymnast leotards, they actually have a football on their sleeve. Incredible.
And so the Gators have performed. They actually extended that 4/10 lead to almost 5/10 as Florida heads to Beam, where they had a 49-475 last week. Skylar Drazer, the sophomore from South Huntington, New York, leads off. He's the top Beam rotation in the country, so should be pretty exciting.
This first position is so critical because it is the very beginning to improve and get that momentum running for this Gator team. She's starting off with a back handspring layout step out, very clean. I loved how she had her shoulders down and her front foot. Forward. Switch leap, switch half. Judges are looking for a very quick connection between those leaps. And it is is so difficult to perform beam, especially in this arena. The crowd is wild. They are gator chomping nonstop, and they're actually closer to the apparatus than usual. Just a dismount here for her. A very clean round off, 1.5. A great start, a very stable gymnast leading off in this position. Great start for the Gator team.
Exactly what you want from your leadoff. Extra steady for Skylar Drazer. She replaced Ellie Lazari in the lineup last week, went 9.85 in her season debut then against LSU. And remember, Florida was trailing going into the final rotation by 0.2 and almost made it up. That was one of the meets of the year, I think, already, and it is still only early on in the season. Georgia on floor leads off with Erin Williams, floor specialist, her only event at a 9.85 last week in the leadoff spot.
She'll be starting off with a very clean double pike, sky high. No problem for her, she knows it, just that smile. Beautiful leap combination. Judges are looking for those leaps to be completely turned full around. Second pass here, a front layout to a front full. I would have loved to see her hold that landing a little bit longer. She got a little bit too excited. But just a junior leading off this team for Georgia. Just the last pass here. Double tuck. Again, holds that landing super clean. That's exactly what the judges are looking for and exactly what Georgia needs to continue this rotation on a positive note.
Georgia has a lot of work to do to make up that almost 5/10, half a point deficit to try to come back here against Florida. But that was a good start there by Erin Williams in the leadoff spot. Sloan Blakely now, the senior all-arounder, tied her career high with a 9.95 last week. Plenty more gymnastics, though, still to come. The second half of our Friday Night Heights doubleheader, OU and Bama from Tuscaloosa. And then Oregon State Auburn. That's a sneaky good matchup. Oregon State with the top all-arounder in the country, and Jade Carey.
What I love about Sloan is her confidence. Watch this right here, a very tricky combination, front aerial straight into a back handspring. Very smooth connection, exactly what the judges are looking for. Beautiful. That is such a difficult leap series, a switch half. You are splitting and twisting in the air and landing in a 4-inch beam. Incredible.
Just about the width of an iPhone. Try landing on that after a leap. Well, you did it many times.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Just this dismount here. Beautiful gainer full. And she knows it was great.
Oh, you think Sloan is cool, calm, relaxed, and collected in her final season? This is her house.
Let's check this out. Watch this connection right here. A front aerial immediately into that back handspring. No deductions there when it comes to connection. And that beautiful gainer full with that tongue out. She knows. Senior season, she is here to dominate.
Following up Erin Williams, 9-7 in the leadoff spot. Georgia, if they're going to come back, will really try to drop that as Nicole King takes the floor.
Starting off her first tumbling pass, front, double full punch front. Extremely difficult. That is a combination pass to a grade level D, immediately to that punch front. And it's it's so great to see her, Alex. Freshman year, she had a career-ending ankle injury, and she didn't compete her sophomore season. Here she is, representing this Georgia team on the floor exercise, having no problem. Second pass here. 1.5 to a punch full. A little loose in the air. I would have liked to see her legs a little bit glued together and her toes pointed a little bit harder. But other than that, it was a great landing.
And after those injuries, doctors said 2 years ago that she was going to have to walk with a gait, let alone compete on floor and be this close to competing a Yurchenko 1.5 on vault. A lot to look forward to for King.
Let's watch this again. A front double full to a punch front. And watch this. She saves it from going out of bounds. What a veteran move from Nicole King.
Would have been a 10th deduction there and could be an important one at the end of it for Georgia. Anya Pilgrim now the All-SEC freshman team member at a 9.9 last week. The only freshman to earn multiple regular season honors. And she is joining the all-around party as well, competing on floor for the first time in the 4th rotation.
She is such a reliable athlete and such a predictable athlete from coaches. Watch this back handspring layout step out. She could have had a bigger wobble than that, but she held it. She had her arms glued to her and her foot solid to the beam. Cat leap. Judges are looking for those knees to be parallel to the gymnast hips. Beautiful connection. Switch leap, step leap. Beautifully done, very elegant. Judges are looking for that 180-degree split. Just a dismount here, back handspring, gainer full, holds that landing, and she knows it was good.
Yeah, Florida's feeling it right now. I mean, 9.9 for Drazer, 9.95 for Sloan Blakely. That's a new season high, and Anya Pilgrim may have very well just reset her season high right there.
Watch this dismount right here. She is completely aligned, hips are floating, and she could have taken a step, but she didn't. She is so calm and just absorbs that landing. Incredible job.
She held really strong throughout that entire routine. Here's Chenge Bachkoy. Had a 9.85 in her Georgia floor debut, a 9.825 last week. She's the former Hungarian national champion on this event.
Again, she is bringing her elite and Olympic experience to the dance floor. Watch this first tumbling pass. It's going to be a 2.5 punch front. Extremely difficult. Wow.
You are allowed that one step, so don't think you need to stick if you're new to gymnastics on floor. A controlled step, correct?
Correct, and especially in elite and Olympic gymnastics, you're always looking forward to that stick, but in college, you're always looking for that step back, just like that, having that controlled landing. Her leaps completely all the way around. Judges are really looking at those leaps because that is the determining factor of where they can take a deduction. Breath before she goes into her last pass. This is a 3-pass routine, extremely difficult. Beautiful double pike, holds that landing with her chest up. Judges are clearly looking for that. And talk about her endurance and her elite gymnastics to this floor. Amazing.
And Anastasia, you don't need to do a 3-pass routine, right? 2 passes is A-okay in the judge's mind because you can add in the difficulty with leaps and other types of features.
100%, and that can honestly be a little bit trickier because if you're not the gymnast that excels with her leaps or her jumps, that can be a little bit tricky. So sometimes you would rather prefer to do those 3 passes.
Victoria Wynn following up a pair of 9.95s and a 9.9. Also performed in the leadoff spot on floor both meets for Victoria. Back for her 5th and final year. Started her career at Georgia in 2021. This is already her 3rd season with the Gators.
This is a very impressive skill that she's about to do, a twisting back handspring right here. Half twist, immediately to a back handspring. That is a blind skill, and she does it with perfection. With an inverted full turn. Very difficult. A full turn's already difficult enough when you're nervous.
She doesn't look too nervous, but
not at all.
That doesn't necessarily mean she isn't good at hiding the nerves.
And her flexibility.
Wow.
She is over 180 degrees. That's exactly what judges are looking for, but you cannot take anything off from that from her. The dismount here, a back handspring, a 1.5, and she stuck it. This Gator team is on fire, using their momentum, athlete after athlete. Watch this, that blind half twisting back handspring immediately to that back handspring, incredible. And 180 degrees, over 180 degrees. Just holds her chin high, gets a hug from Jeremy Miranda.
And still to follow for Florida is Leanne Wong and Selena Harris Miranda. An Olympic alternate in the Pac-12 Gymnast of the Year. Pretty good. Nyla's routine is really fun. She's so bouncy.
And she is a freshman with a lot of power and a lot of attitude. She can dance.
9-8 last week.
She is such a great addition to this Georgia team. She was actually a state champion on beam, floor, and vault at regionals back in her club days.
I like that she had a 9-8 last week, and she's still at her final pass. A little bit too much power. They're trying to teach her a little bit more control, but that's pretty impressive nonetheless.
She'll definitely get those numbers in as she continues in her career. Let's watch these leaps right here. Very critical. Love the effort, getting them all the way around. Last pass here. Just finishing off with a huge double pike. I would have loved to see her chest a little bit higher on that landing, but other than that, much better than last weekend in controlling her energy.
I love that she has too much energy on her last pass. Usually that's when you're like on your last gasp, and she's still got so much left in the tank.
Let's check this out. First pass here, a punch front. Talk about timing. Extremely difficult combination pass to a huge double pack. She did slide that foot a little bit, I would say, but she's learning to control that energy.
999.5s following up Skylar Drazer, and Leanne Wong is on the cusp for Florida of having the best beam rotation in the country this year. She was maybe even just a little bit off against LSU at 9.775. A big wobble on her mount. Oh, she did it again. And her hands go on the beam. A fall.
That is a fall.
So 5/10 deduction mandatory right there. But the good news, remember, you only count 5 scores, and Florida has 4 outstanding ones in the bank.
Well, even with that mistake, I know Leanne can confidently navigate this routine without a problem. You know, sometimes when you fall, you do angry gymnastics, and that just, you just want to do, you want to get off, you want to get on, and you want to show what you're capable of. Something that's actually a requirement in gymnastics that the judges are looking for, each and every athlete needs to do their choreography forward, backward, and also the length of the beam. Just this dismount here, a front gainer full. She's a little bit upset about that, but she will definitely be back after that fall. Let's take a look at this Watch her foot right here. She did not hold it directly onto the beam, and she lifted it a little bit. And she just held it together. She tried so hard, but she should have left her chest a little bit higher on that instead of bringing her momentum down to the end of the beam.
And now here is Addie Wall, a 9.9 last week, which was just off her career high. Part of that #1 recruiting class for Georgia 2 years ago, coming in with the likes of Lily Smith. That's a pretty good 1-2 combination, and they are going to have outstanding Bulldogs careers in their last 2 seasons, along with this one.
That was a huge full in, and she has a bag of tricks. That match she landed on, that was no deduction on that. That's just a safety precaution, saving those ankles for the rest of the season. She actually looks up to Simone Biles, so what an opportunity for her to compete in front of her last meet. And she's also a performer.
Can you imagine, though, competing in front of your idol? Does that give you more fire, or does that maybe bring out the nerves a little bit, knowing that the expectations are set?
I would definitely be a little bit nervous.
That could help you do your best gymnastics, though. She certainly did. I mean, we saw the 9.9 last week.
That's right. And she's looking forward to that 9.9 again in this routine. A front tuck through to a double tuck, holds that landing, and her chest goes straight up, which is exactly what those judges are looking for, and that head nod saying, oh yeah. Watch this huge full in, full twisting, double back. She kind of had this little stutter feed on that landing. Definitely the judges are going to be paying a closer attention to that, and we'll definitely take a few deductions off.
It's a little bit of pressure time now here for Selena Harris, Miranda, and Florida. At the moment, they can drop the 9.625 if Miranda hits. Tied for 3rd on beam at Nationals last year. This is really a strength for her. She doesn't have many weaknesses, though.
If it's anybody who can come after a fall, it's definitely Selena Harris Miranda. She is capable of a 10 on this event. Watch this triple series, extremely difficult. She knows it was great. And she's also a gymnast that does go over extension in her leaps, switch leap to a split. Very confident and calm demeanor so far on this balance beam. Looking forward to drop Leanne's score. Holds that front toss. Does a great job keeping her shoulders completely aligned, her arms glued. Just a dismount here, a round off 1.5. Veteran move. All of these gymnasts so far are holding those landings. It is incredible being able to absorb that landing, especially when you want to take that step. That makes the difference. Let's take a look about this triple series. Back handspring, layout step out, back handspring. Extremely difficult on a 4-inch beam. And then watch this dismount, how she holds this landing, saves it, controls it, bends those knees, and just tops it off with that beautiful smile.
Just that slight balance check, but all but guaranteed to drop the 9.625 from Leanne Wong. This is going to be a huge beam rotation for Florida. Now Lily Smith just missed out on her career high last week against Boise State as well. She had a 9.925 last week.
Lily is just so beautiful to watch. Her long legs, her elegancy that she has. Watch this, a front double full. Her legs were glued together, chest was high. Nothing can be taken off from that front handspring double full. She's often compared to Olympic great Nastia Liukin for her elegancy, her performance. And I could definitely see that. Nastia Liukin was also one of my role models. She rushed that 1.5 punch layout and just could not get her legs in the position to have that appropriate punch that she was looking for. Very uncharacteristic of Lily, but I know she will finish strong with this tumbling pass. Last one here. Front 1.5 to a beautiful jump straddle layout.
For Georgia,
great finish.
Lily Smith. And that is the end of our third rotation this evening.
Let's take a look at this. Back handspring 1.5. Her legs on that 1.5 were a little bit placed too far forward, which didn't allow her to have that momentum, that rotation going into that second pass.
Uncharacteristic right there for Lily Smith, the reigning SEC Freshman of the Year. Another huge rotation for Florida, 49.675, the highest in the country. We'll talk more about the conference as a whole when we come back. Oklahoma, the new kids on the block. Looking forward to seeing them more here on Friday Night Heights. Friday Night Heights is presented by Sprouts Farmers Market, official healthy grocer of the Southeastern Conference. The Gators are not backing down in any way, shape, or form. They already have the highest vault and beam meet score in the country this year, and their lead is absolutely huge. It is over a point, and they have just continued to grow it even more so. Just almost a point, actually. 0.9, which is really going to be difficult to make up for Georgia. But this is their first time on the road in the SEC this season. And there are so many newcomers. This is going to be a great experience to build on.
Most definitely.
Georgia on beam, ranked 33rd in the country, by far the Bulldogs' lowest ranked event. Let's see if they can get back on the right track. They had to count 2 scores in the 9-7s last week.
And if they can count on a gymnast starting in this position, especially on balance beam, it's definitely Addie. Watch this right here. Back handspring, layout step out, a triple series, and holds that landing exactly in the position that she was looking for.
This is the end of Addie's all-around night. So far, pretty good scores, 9.85, 9.9, 9.825.
Very difficult side summy, landing sideways on the beam. You don't really have your toes to grip onto the side of the beam. Extremely difficult. Another holds that landing, a very difficult leap combination, a jump combination, twisting and jumping and splitting and twisting all at the same time, but she did a great job holding it. Just a dismount here. Judges will definitely take a couple balance checks throughout the balance beam, but great start for Addie.
Florida leads off on floor with Victorian Wynn, the grad student from Houston. But another major win for college gymnastics coming to Illinois. Her brother Matthew is a freshman on the team, just made his collegiate debut. And for the first time, ESPN will broadcast the Men's Gymnastics National Championship Saturday, April 19th in Ann Arbor, Michigan on ESPN2. Mark your calendars now, because that is going to be electric. Can Stanford win yet again? This is probably the question on everybody's mind.
Victoria comes from a family of athletes, so how fun it is for her family to be able to watch all of their children grow and excel in the sports that they love.
And 7 children.
I know.
6 siblings for Victoria.
Watch this right here, a front double full. Oh. She had her chest a little bit far forward. That's why she was not able to get that vertical jump out of that front double full.
Did stay in bounds though, so not going to get that extra 10th deduction for the step out.
She is such an artistic gymnast, filled with flexibility, confidence, beauty, the way that she moves her arms from shoulder to fingertips. It's beautiful. Second pass here, a round off, 1.5, punch layout. Exactly what she wanted to bring back that momentum to a beautiful, shows off her flexibility. Great start for Florida.
Coming up next, making her collegiate debut for Georgia. Out of Pittsburgh, it is Harley Tomlin. And if that last name sounds familiar, it's because the Super Bowl winning head coach is her father. There is really no more consistent head coach in the country, and certainly in the NFL, than Mike Tomlin. What a place to make your college debut here.
I was just thinking that, just the energy in this arena, the fans, the atmosphere, and being able to confidently navigate the balance beam is quite impressive. Backhand spring, layout step out, another triple series, and she just nailed that with confidence. I just love how she's finishing all these skills with a lot of pressure in her front foot. That allows a gymnast to maintain her balance. Just the dismount here, round off, 1.5. She unfortunately did take a huge hop forward, but an amazing opportunity and experience from Harley. What an amazing opportunity to show off her, especially in this arena. Check this out, backhand spring, layout step out, and she just holds that landing. Extremely difficult to do, and she just did it beautifully.
Nice start to her Bulldogs career. Now Anya Pilgrim to floor. Adding floor this week to become Florida's 4th all-arounder. She was a regular season All-American in the all-around last year. The first freshman in the country to earn a perfect 10 on floor last season. And this is a really special routine for her. It is, once again, if you're familiar with her, all Rihanna music in honor of her home country, the Barbados. And actually, one of the reasons that Anya ended up choosing Florida, what kind of put the Gators over the top, is their proximity to the island, so her family can get there and watch her compete. We're waiting on the score coming in for Victoria Wynn, which makes me think that there's a bit of a judges' conference going on with the score for Wynn. As you see, the top 2 scores have come in now for Georgia at 9-7 for Addie Walden and 9-8-5 for Harley Tomlin.
It seems like they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with that first tumbling pass, that front double full to that stag jump that she did. Did she go out of bounds? Did she didn't go out of bounds? Trying to figure that out.
And judging is in the forefront of all gymnastics fans this year, implementing the new scoreboard, which for the first time now we have officials overseeing officials, and it's trying to make everything a little bit more consistent and make sure that the routines are scored properly and that deductions are taken properly. So it remains to be seen exactly how it will work. And Victoria Wynn's score does come in as a 9-5. So that is going to be the score that Florida will want to drop if they continue to put up this, type that we have seen so far as being one of the best in the country at the moment.
And as we wait, we have Anya Pilgrim, who is capable of a 10-0 on this event. She is a veteran on this event. Watch this difficult combination pass. It's a round off 1.5, straight into 8, double full. Extremely difficult, trying to find that timing of how to open up into that connection pass. Those leaps were definitely all the way around. I would have loved to see her knees a little bit more straight when she was splitting in the air. Anya was also an elite gymnast and has a presence that when she performs, and I know that she's going to keep continuing that momentum and be better and better as she continues to excel throughout her career. It's just the beginning for Anya. Last pass here. Front tuck through to a double tuck. Holds that landing. And she did a great job allowing her foot not to slide. Judges are clearly looking at that front foot placement and just ends it with a gator chomp. Watch this right here. A 1.5 splits into that combination straight through a double full. Lots of twists, lots of flips. And going into this last pass, another front tuck through to a double tuck. And watch how good she does. Holds that front foot down. Great job from Anya.
9.7985 right now for Georgia on beam. And here is the collegiate debut of Aberdeen O'Driscoll, the Belgian international, who is listed as the alternate. And coaches for Georgia deciding to give her a go here at the end of this meet.
Another triple series for this Georgia team. They are really improving on the balance beam week after week, which is super important this early in the season.
And the mark to beat for them as a team was 49-1. That was their season high they got last week against Boise State. The more on a young team that's looking for an identity, that's trying to build something, build a dynasty, you know, improvement, baby steps, that's what you're looking for, right?
Exactly. She does look a little bit nervous to me, but I will say I'm super impressed in how she was able to jump into that lineup, being in that alternate and being in this third place position. Just this dismount here. Round off 1.5, finds that landing. Super impressive for her. I am so happy for her. And again, we look at that sisterhood. We see it right here on this Georgia team, how proud they are for her.
What is it like to get the call as an alternate? Are you expecting to compete?
Honestly, it's a last-minute decision, which will definitely, you know, get your nerves going. Like, oh my, I'm up. And she just was able to handle it with such passion and beauty. And it was just so great for her to get that experience out there, especially in this Gator Arena.
Two very good debuts. Here's Taylor Clark, the freshman from Orange Park, 9.875 in her first two college floor routines. Gators head coach Jenny Rowland said that she's really starting to come out of her shell, and they expect big things from her.
I don't want you to miss this right here. This is huge. Double layout, does not move, but she did actually have a little stutter in that front foot right there. She did land on that 4-inch mat, which is not a deduction. Again, that is protecting athletes on that very difficult landing. So expressive with her face, her body language. So impressive the way that Jeremy Miranda, assistant coach, was able to tailor, you know, some of these moves to the individual athletes. It's quite impressive. Gets those leaps all the way around. Last pass here for Taylor Clark, just the freshman. Front tuck, through to that huge double back. I would have loved to see her hold that landing a little bit harder, but she tried really hard to cover that landing up.
She danced out of it, didn't she?
And ends it with that huge gator chomp that the crowd knows so well. I want you to watch her hips and that overextension and the way that she doesn't even pike down to find that landing. And watch the sass, the swagger that she has. really getting that expressive her freshman year, and I know it's just going to be momentum from here for her.
Here's Anya Turner now, 9.825 last week. She was all SEC on this event last year. 5 scores of 9.9 or better. This is going to be Florida's meet at this point. But can Georgia reclaim a little bit of momentum and confidence on the beam 10 this meet? I think they'd be feeling good about themselves.
Very difficult. Another triple series for this Georgia team. That was a back handspring layout. And she's just extremely solid, and she's able to handle those pressure. And she's the only senior on this Georgia team. And she is also an all-SEC and all-freshman recognition on her performance in the SEC. So she's definitely a veteran herself.
We're seeing a lot of fight from Georgia, too, on beam.
Just the dismount right here. Round off 1.5. There's that fight again. Holds that landing, absorbs that landing. That's exactly what the judges are looking for. Let's take a look at this. She is fully aligned on this beam. She was a little bit crooked on her front foot, but she was able to hold that position, putting a lot of pressure on that front foot. Always a standard and always such a good movement to save landings.
Sloane's going to finish up her all-around night after a 9.85 and a 9.9 from Taylor Clark. Tied for 5th in the country on floor. Coming off a 9.95 last week. Got a 10 from one of the judges and a 9.9 from the other.
This is a new first pass for her this season, and it's a full in. And look at this, no problem. She knows it was good. Her career high on this event is also a 10. So she's always striving for perfection on this event, which I know she's capable of doing this season.
She seems really free this year, doesn't she? I mean, it might have something to do with the fact that her younger sister, Sky, is on the team. Her parents can come to every meet now and not have to worry about traversing the globe to watch their daughters.
And her mom even knows the choreography. I mean, it's your senior season. This is your final hurrah. You're selling it all out there. You're letting it all on the floor. She's really looking forward to this Florida team going out with a bang. Here she goes on her last pass here. 1.5. Punch front full. Holds that landing. Shakes her head again. She knows it's good. I love it.
So does Sky. Forever each other's biggest cheerleaders.
And look at her sister congratulating her on the side. What a moment for them too. Again, that sisterhood, that sister family on that Gator team as well is incredible.
Yeah, she's just having a good time here, her last season.
Let's
Great
take a look at this again. Huge full in, doesn't even have to grab her legs and just holds that landing. Last pass here, very clean, legs pointed, glued together, and there's that Gator chomp from Sky cheering her on. Again, dynamic sister duo right there.
Here's Lily Smith. Back-to-back 9.9s for her to start the year. Highest score on the team in both meets. This has been a really good beam rotation here for Georgia. Just 2 athletes remaining.
Watch this combination. Front aerial to a very quick transition to that back tuck. Judges are looking for that quick transition and that connection to be smooth. Again, that overextension. Had a little bit of a balance check there, but she did a great job staying composed and continuing that connection. Extremely difficult. That is a front pike kickover. Just this dismount here, a gainer full. She was so close at holding that landing. Let's take a look at this again on some of these balance checks that she had. Very uncharacteristic of her. You can see that she wasn't really fully aligned when she kind of missed that connection right there, which will definitely result in a deduction, unfortunately.
They were trying to drop Addie Wall's 9-7. We'll have to see if that indeed is the case. Leanne Wong building off of Sloane Blakely's 9-9-2-5, trying to make that Victoria win 9-5 in the leadoff spot go away. It's a different kind of floor routine than Leanne has really ever had, though. She wanted something where the crowd could get into it, they could clap. A lot of times her routines are more classical.
Yeah, it's always with a violin. And talking to head coach Jenny, you know, I think this is like the transformation of Leanne. The Olympic year is over. She's she's stress-free. She's able to, you know, focus on her college career and her education as well. Right here, huge double layout. And I just love how she finishes every gymnastic skill with a smile, with her chest high, proud, showing that she's got confidence. Beautiful leap combination. You can see right there, that's a perfect example how she was able to split 180 degrees and then fully, look at Jeremy right there. Where's this gator chomp? Pass. I love how she used her dance and her artistry to continue that movement out of that pass. Veteran move right there. I mean, she's got experience after experience. The Olympic alternate, NCAA champion. I mean, she's got so much in her pocket. Let's take a look at this. First pass again, fully extended. Her hips are fully up. And she just completely nails it with confidence. Look at those leaps, fully 180 degrees, goes completely full around. That's exactly what the judges are looking for.
One of the best in the world right there, Leanne Wong. Brooke Lightshowski, who has fallen in back-to-back meets to start her college career, but what an opportunity for her to anchor the beam rotation in Gainesville, where she grew up.
Again, this is also an opportunity for both of these co-head coaches to figure out what works and what doesn't work for these athletes. So let's take a look at our triple series right here. Back handspring, layout step out, no problem today. This is a booster for her confidence, especially in that anchor position.
4 straight 9.85s here for this Georgia beam rotation.
I love how sharp she is on every, look at that. So precise, shows off her flexibility. You can see her confidence just ooze out of this beam routine. Switch leap into a very difficult switch half again. Looking at that pure alignment and is completely aligned with the balance beam. Just the dismount here. You know what? This is a moment for her. She has her redemption after those 2 falls in the previous competitions, and here she is nailing that triple series that she had problems with, but not today. Let's take a look at it again. 3 flips in a row and completely holds that landing. And just a dismount here, absorbs it, and you can see co-head coach is jumping with excitement because, again, that was a moment for her, a recovery moment, and a booster for her confidence.
Here we go. Selena Harris-Miranda needs a 9-9 to take the all-around title from her teammate Sloane Blakely. And for the 2nd straight year, she starts out with Selena. That's her calling card now, dreaming of you.
She is so expressive with this floor routine. She plays with the crowd. Front tuck through to a huge double tuck. A little bit low on that landing, I would say, but good job having that chest open to limit any other deductions other than that.
Florida has already guaranteed a huge score. Is it going to be even higher, though, A 9.775 will get the Gators to a 198, the first one of the season.
I just love how assistant coach Jeremy Miranda was able to tailor all of these floor routines to these individual athletes, being able to show their expressive self. And going into this last pass, huge jump out of that combination pass. And this crowd is going wild for Selena Harris Miranda. The Gator team congratulating her, that sisterhood, that compassion, finding her family on this Gator team. It's incredible. Last pass here. Check this out. Front 1.5 to a front half to a huge stag jump. And she knows it was great. She's excited.
She's found a new home here at Florida. A 9.9 gives her the all-around title. And the Gators put up an extraordinary score for what we've been seeing this year with a 198.125, the highest in the country this season. And well-deserved, too. That was a worthy 198.125, was it not?
100%. And I will say this from the get-go. This Florida team is completely stacked on every single event. They've got so much depth, and that may be the missing key for them to win a national championship.
And so everybody here inside the arena, 9,100 fans at Exactech Arena, saw exactly what they were hoping for. A great meet from Georgia. They have a lot to build on, but it was Florida's night. The Gators showed out here at home. Selena Harris Miranda with a huge all-around score as well of 39.625. That will do it for us here in Gainesville. Thank you so much for joining us. With Anastasia Webb for our entire fantastic SEC Network crew, I'm Alex Perlman saying so long. After the break, we'll get you to more Friday night.